We walking so fast? My husband asked. The show doesn't start for another 10 minutes. We're walking with purpose, I replied. For years, that was my normal mode. Speed, always in a hurry, trying to fit more in with my fast pace. But I've learned busyness has a cost. Hi, I'm Crystal Storms, an author and artist. Welcome to the Heart Rest Podcast. You're listening to episode 13. I'm on a mission to equip you to exchange weariness for oneness with Christ through biblical encouragement and practical tips so you can find rest close to His heart. If you struggle with overwhelm, weariness, or you just need the simple reminder that His grace is enough, you're in the right place for encouragement to rest in Christ. Listen in. Have you ever asked yourself how you can get everything you've committed to done? Maybe like me, you've even dreamed of ways you can speed things up so you can fit more in. According to a Vital Smart survey, 3 out of 5 people have agreed to accomplish more than they can actually do in the time they have available. So if you find yourself feeling busy, behind, or overwhelmed by all there is to do, you're not alone. You can do a lot, but you can't do it all at the same time. And busyness costs us. It keeps us from connecting with others and ourselves. It prevents us from being present in the moment, which research indicates being present leads to more happiness and greater peace. Busyness even leads to an increased risk of a heart attack. In fact, in 2001, Harvard researcher Stephen R. Cole published a study stating that regardless of family history, physical activity, diet, or alcohol intake, the people with the greatest sense of urgency were 4 times more likely to have a heart attack than those with the least sense of time urgency. Busyness also makes us less compassionate. John M. Darley and C. Daniel Batson, in their article titled From Jerusalem to Jericho, a study of situational and dispositional variables in helping behavior, for the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, write, ethics becomes a luxury as the speed of our life increases. There were multiple variables of the study, but in the most memorable one, they asked seminary students to give a 3-minute presentation on the Good Samaritan. This is the parable Jesus told about in Luke 10 when asked, "Who is my neighbor?" In summary, a man was attacked and left for dead on the side of the road. A priest and a religious person passed on by, but an enemy, a Samaritan, stopped by to bandage his wounds and bring him to help and even paid for his recovery. In the variable that the students needed to rush to the other side of the campus, 90% of the students giving a talk on this very important parable that Jesus shared ignored a homeless man in their path who was moaning in pain. Some reported not even seeing the man. In a world where busy is seen as a sign of importance, I want to invite you to consider a different path. One where life is more spacious and slow. One that allows you to be more compassionate and kind. One that allows you to say yes to God's invitation in Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. So, how can we be less busy? How can we ensure we have time to connect? How can we guard ourselves from the dangers of being busy? 3 steps to ban busy. 1. Measure your life. In her book, Unstuffed, Declutter Your Home, Mind, and Soul, Ruth Soukup writes, having clarity about what matters most is the only solution to creating a schedule that really works. Because if everything is important, nothing is. Measure what matters in this season and then prioritize it. The second step to banning busy is manage your to-do list. I've heard the concept of the daily 3 from multiple productivity specialists, but I love how Michael Hyatt defines it in his article, Keys to a More Productive Day. He writes, your daily big 3 are the top 3 outcomes you need to accomplish for the day to make progress on your weekly and long-term goals and projects. Narrowing my list down to my 3 most important tasks help me to fill my days with what matters to me. It also gives me clarity for what needs to get done each day. Every yes to one thing is a no to something else. And to help you determine your best yes, listen to episode 12, where I share a framework for determining your best yes. And the third step to banning busy is give yourself margin. Margin leaves room for space to take longer than expected. Margin leaves room for peace because we're not always running behind. And margin increases our capacity for compassion. We talked about the costs of busyness. Busyness keeps us from connecting. It distracts us from what's happening around us, stealing our joy. It can endanger our lives and make us less compassionate. We've also talked about how we can overcome busyness by measuring our lives to determine what matters, managing our to-do lists so what matters gets done, and giving ourselves margin. Set your pace to grace and go slow. He is God, so be still and know. Each episode, I want to offer you a question to journal about or simply contemplate. What will you release so you can experience the peace that comes from having space in your life? Thank you for listening to episode 13 of the Heart Rest podcast. I hope this simple encouragement of choosing less but better as you ban busy can help you cultivate a rhythm of rest. Because while it's true that life is complicated, our hearts find rest when we keep first things first and release the rest. As always, you can find me online at crystalstorms.me, where you can also find a blog post of this and every episode. Instagram is where I hang out the most. Find me at crystal_storms. I'd love to see you there. I created a free resource to help you experience heart rest as you slow your pace to one of grace. Go to crystalstorms.me to sign up to receive Rest in Christ, 31 personalized scriptures to anchor your heart to truth. As we close, I want to leave you with a quote from Allie Worthington from her book, Breaking Busy. Let your life be about what you are meant to do, not full of what you think you should do. Thank you for listening, sweet friend. Until next time, rest in Christ.